We're live with another episode of BS Busters, and I'm joined by, well, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Thanks. This is Pedophile from Video Game Facts, and I've got some very big news to discuss that just happened today, along with some other news that happened throughout the past week.
All right, so let's get to it.
All right, let's discuss about the biggest news that came out today. Nintendo just announced a Smash Bros. Direct on Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific time.
So 10 o'clock my time, which means I'm probably not going to watch it live. I'm probably going to have to catch it after the.
Yep. Although they didn't reveal. Although there was no character reveal at EVO, Nintendo did announce something during EVO, which is the Direct.
All right. Well, I mean, that's not really. I mean, it kind of was. I mean, it's not really surprising that they weren't going to, because it's not really surprising that they weren't going to do any major announcement at EVO. Because unlike Capcom, who would rush out a game for EVO, which I mean that was bullshit. Come on, we all know that was bullshit. But which was Street Fighter V allegedly. We pretty much know that that's not going to be the case.
Right.
So that's just the way it is.
But we did get a couple of reveals from other companies at EVO. At least as far as I know. Let's see, I have to check at Event Hubs. All right. They announced two characters for Soul Calibur 6 at EVO. Seong Maina and Astaroth.
Anything else?
Anything else? Let's see. Scrolling down more. Yeah, they teased two characters for Dead or Alive 6. Hitomi and Leifang, or Leifang, if that's the correct pronunciation. And they announced Terry Bogard, Arya, and Sharon as DLC for Fighting EX layer. As well as some new characters for Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. And that's pretty much it from all the EVO reviews. The EVO reveals.
I mean, I guess that's cool. I don't know. How can I put this? I mean, it's pretty cool, but not the best thing ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess EVO, I guess for me, EVO doesn't have much meaning because I'm not heavily into the competitive fighting scene. And when I was, EVO didn't exist. So, so it's like I have a different viewpoint about the thing. I don't think that games should cater strictly to people who play games competitively because they're the minority. It's like someone saying, well, Tetris games should cater to the people who play Tetris competitively. Well, then, every Tetris game would basically like would basically be on hard mode, and there wouldn't be any alternate modes like puzzle mode or anything like that. It would all just be the same thing over and over and over again, and that's not really fun. So but that's just me. I could be wrong. What do I know? I'm just some guy.
So moving on to the Evo news, I can discuss the other news that I discussed yesterday evening, which was Fortnite tutors. Basically, parents are hiring tutors from various gaming websites to teach their kids to get good at Fortnite. And as expected, there's some backlash to it from other people, such as other parents who don't play video games.
Well, I mean, if parents have the money to do it, let them.
And of course, you already mentioned that you're not bothered by it, so Dr. Feelgood was.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I'm not bothered by it is because it's like me getting mad when I was a kid that certain people's parents would buy them every video game console. Like you go to their house, like typically speaking, I grew up in the generation where you either had an SNES or a Sega Genesis, right? Maybe some people had a PC Engine or a home computer, but very few people had everything. Now, I had friends who had everything. I had a friend who had a Nintendo, a Master System, a Sega Genesis, a Super Nintendo, a Sega CD, a Sega 32X, Sega TV. He had the PC Engine, the PC Engine Duo, so it did the Hue cards and the CDs. I mean, he basically had he even had a friggin' Neo Geo. And I mean, I can't get mad at his parents because they had money to get him everything. That's kind of a dick move,
Right.
So I'm not gonna get mad that some parent wants to pay someone. I mean, yeah, video games is a hobby, but it's like paying for your kid to go to basketball camp or something like that, or to go to drama camp or something like that. You're paying for them to get good at a hobby. So I mean, should we get mad should we get mad at their parents for that? Well, if you treat video gaming like a hobby, like acting or drama camp or basketball or something like that, then you can't get mad. I mean, if you're going to get mad about the parents hiring tutors for that, then you should get mad at them hiring acting coaches for their kids or sending their kids to basketball camp where they learn to play basketball more efficiently and stuff like that. So, I don't deal with shit like that. So, that's my thing.
Yeah, I've seen people compare how it's not seen people comparing Fortnite tutors to parents tutoring kids to get good at sports games such as baseball.
Well, I mean, I said that thing yesterday. I mean, if we had our druthers, it would be the parents getting better. But I mean, if you're a parent and you're working 40 plus hours a week to pay the bills and stuff like that, you probably don't have time to also play video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're using their money to basically do something cool for their kids, and that's their money. I mean, I'm not gonna get mad. I mean, look, it's one thing if you have parents paying for their kids to get to make money on some bullshit, but they did what they want to do. So people need to calm the hell down and stop being whiny bitches about it. So.
So moving on. Some Super Nintendo World related news. Apparently, it's going to be 2 stories high.
From concept art, we don't
Yeah.
know if that's actually true.
Well, actually, the concept art shows the current construction of Super Nintendo World.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, a lot of things could change. It's allegedly thus far that's the plan, but we don't know if that is the case. Until they finish building it, we really can't, make any suppositions.
And I suspect that the Mario Kart ride would be underground, whereas the quote unquote main floor would be on the 2nd floor.
That could be the case. I mean, I'm not 100% sure because I know that the first one's opening in Japan, and I'm not going to Japan just to go to quote unquote Super Nintendo World. So,
and we're getting the Hollywood version second. Well, yours, the Florida version, will be open dead last.
Which means, they'll work out all the kinks. Probably the shittiest version will probably be the one in Japan, and then the slightly better version will be the one in Hollywood because they'll have learned from the one in Japan, and then the best one will be the one they open last because they'll be like, okay, we made all our mistakes, because that's basically how they did all the amusement parks in the U.S. anyway. Like Walt Disney World in California is like the smallest, and then as time went on, like a lot of stuff got better as they built in other places because they had more foresight, they had more experience. So hopefully it'll be better. Since I don't live in Florida, it's not really mine. But I mean, I'm not flying to California just to go to it, and I have other things to do with my time than go to amusement parks. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, so moving on, let's see if I could find any other newsworthy announcements from this week. Did we already mention Octopath Traveler having shipped 1 million units worldwide?
We mentioned it yesterday, but we can reiterate it this thing. Yeah, Octopath Traveler has shipped 1 million, which means probably by next month or the month after next. Actually, probably at the end of this month, it'll probably be at 1 million units sold. So that's cool, I guess.
Right. And SNK Heroines is going to add in Terry Bogard
as a woman.
Yeah.
So
and apparently it's the version that was used in SNK versus Capcom where they have Dimitri in the roster.
That's quite neat.
How's it going, Joe?
I'm all right, though. If anything, I was wondering if I was having a lag problem. So if I cut off a bit, I'll try to join in as soon as I can.
We were just talking about Rule 63, Terry Bogard.
I heard.
And also, you missed out on the Smash news.
I was about to say, coming this Wednesday, the Smash reveal.
All right. As well as the Super Nintendo World news and the Fortnite Tutors news.
That's what happens when dinner comes right at the start of the show.
So, next, moving on, Mario Kart Wii is going to be in HD in China for NVIDIA Shield.
Yeah. Which means it's probably going to have the shit pirated out of it because it's China.
Yeah, that's always the annoyance that the moment China gets its hands on something, expect knockoffs.
Yeah, because China's pirate land.
And are you guys gonna try out the beta version of Dragon Ball FighterZ on the Switch?
Nope.
I'm not sure.
I'm tired of Dragon Ball fighting games, so like until they do something different, I'm not gonna play any. That's basically how I
And there's an undiscovered Metroid Easter egg in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for 4 years.
How small is that Metroid, anyways?
Well, yeah,
I mean, it's not minuscule. Tell you that much.
it appears in the background, if not briefly. It's in the level of Abyss.
A water level.
Yeah, the water level.
It figures.
But it does raise some questions. Can Metroid survive underwater?
Well, I mean, theoretically speaking, if they can hover inside of liquid phazon and deadly gases and lava, then water's probably okay too. Just by virtue of,
It'd be mostly like air to them.
Because they seem to look more like space jellyfish. They're a larval form, at least.
Yeah, the form that most people are
familiar
most
with.
Familiar with.
Oh, and there's apparently WarioWare Gold shows off the correct pronunciation of the SNES.
Yes, Nesu or NES. But fuck that, I'm calling the NES because in America it's called the Nintendo Entertainment System. So I'm calling it the NES. Just like the SNES is the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
So does this mean the SNES is also pronounced as SNES?
Yeah, that you'd have to make that leap in logic, but I refuse to because I hate when people say that. So I'm going to call it the damn way I damn well please. So just like I don't call Dr. Robotnik Dr. Eggman. I call him Dr. Robotnik because that's the proper fucking goddamn name.
What about Princess Toadstool?
I prefer to call her Princess Toadstool. Just like I call Dr. Robotnik because that's his fucking name. His name is Dr. Ivo Robotnik. His nickname that they rebranded him as, it's Dr. Eggman. Man, fuck that. He's Dr. Robotnik.
But he's always been Eggman in Japanese.
In Japan, yeah. But I mean, when he was introduced in America, he was called Dr. Robotnik, and so that's what I grew up calling him. And I'm not going to change it just because now we can call him Dr. Eggman because Eggman sounds whimsical and fancy. Oh, he's only murdering woodland creatures and turning them into robots. It's fun. So no, thank you. I'm calling him Robotnik.
I go with the full name and just have fun with it. Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik.
Yeah, but Eggman's not part of his name. Eggman is just basically what they fucking call him. His name is Ivo Robotnik. His grandfather's name is Gerald Robotnik. That's his proper fucking name is Robotnik. Like I don't know why.
The Sonic Adventures continuity was supposed to please both sides of the fandom.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm not,
Like,
I know the Japanese fans are like, yeah, it's great. I'm like, I'm not feeling it. So I'm not feeling it. I'm not.
As I said, I have fun with it.
But that's just me.
So the drum game Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun is getting a physical release in Europe.
And the drum and And the drumbeat fans around here in the States are wondering, when are we getting it?
What game is this?
The drumbeat games, you know that.
Taiko no Tatsujin?
Yeah.
The Japanese taiko games.
Yep.
I mean, the rhythm-based taiko games. I mean, I would rather have Wii U karaoke. Just port that to the Switch and just give me that. Because that game had some nasty ass songs like From the Windows to the Wall and Sex Bomb.
As I said, the Switch doesn't have a mic.
Yeah, they could add it. They'd include it in the game. You spend like $30, you get the thing, and it's great.
You and your add-ons.
So,
but that said, that's pretty much it.
If Nintendo can sell you a fucking cardboard box, then I'm sure they can come up with a microphone. You know what I mean?
So you guys hear that a new mode was announced for Mega Man 11, Balloon Attack mode.
What?
A new mode was announced for Mega Man 11 called Balloon Attack mode.
Oh, Balloon Attack. Okay, I was wondering. I didn't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's cool. I mean, I don't really. I don't really care. I mean, it's like, here's the thing. I'm probably not going to play it. I guess for people who really want something a little bit different, they might do something a little bit different. I personally don't like it.
But
that's just me.
But it's like Break the Targets.
Yeah, but a shittier version of it. Like Break the Targets was like a nice little 2-minute break from all that fighting. This is like, Mega Man already has that kind of shit into it.
And with that said, that's pretty much it of all the news, all the notable news this week.
Oh, there's more news. Recently, Square Enix, the Enix part of it, has recently shown off more information about their characters in Dragon Quest XI. They renamed some of the characters from their Japanese versions into their
English names,
which is kind of like, and it's kind of nice. So, whatever.
Unless you're a purist who only like to use the original Japanese names.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that. Like, I prefer.
And believe me, we have Pokemon fans who do that as well, preferring the Pokemon's official Japanese names over their English names.
Of course.
Anything else from the news from Square Enix?
Not that I heard of.
Okay, what about other companies like Capcom?
I mean, that's the only little bit of news gaming-wise I've heard from
yes, now I remember something newsworthy from Blizzard for their upcoming summer event. They just announced what it's called the best Overwatch legendary skin ever since the Greek Mercy costume.
Oh gods.
And it's the Diva Wave Racer outfit. And yes, it makes her look. It has her wear a bikini.
Wait until the censorship crew arrives.
No, it's a T-rated game.
Yeah,
Oh,
but remember what happened when
Oh yeah, I forgot about Fire Emblem.
I was gonna say, remember when one of the characters was harassed about one of their poses?
Oh yes, the Tracer controversy.
Yeah, but to be fair, that was kind of fucked up. Like here's the thing people need to understand. Those games are all fan service bullshit. And I mean that's what they're sold on. Like, and I know people like Liger's like, yeah, they also are quality games. I'm like, I don't want to see young girls getting their clothes ripped off, making vaguely sexual noises, because they're young girls, and that's just not cool.
At least the girls in Overwatch are legal.
Exactly. At least they're legal. But that's just me.
And continuing on with the Overwatch talk, I've been hearing that people are now getting sick and tired of Lucio Ball because there was nothing new announced for this year's summer event.
Are they really that bored already?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because it's always they expect a new mode to be every year, every summer event year.
A new what game?
For Overwatch.
I don't know. I mean, I think Overwatch is okay for what it is. Like really, if Blizzard wants to do something cool, what they should do is create a single player mode, like little vignettes for each of their Overwatch characters, maybe like 5 or 6 levels that goes the backstory of those characters. Some of them are really interesting.
Like Battleborn.
No, not like Battleborn, because Battleborn sucks. But but like Winston, he's an interesting character. I would like to hear more about him. Like there's some really interesting characters in Overwatch that have pretty interesting stories, and it's not enough to just well, you can read a little shitty manga about it. I don't want to do that. So that's just me.
And the reason why is because usually every Halloween and every holiday they tend to add something. They add a new mode every year in a holiday during a holiday.
For what, Overwatch?
Yeah, for Overwatch. Like last year, they gave us a new snowball mode for May players. And I'm trying to remember what new mode they introduced for their Halloween update from last year.
Well, I know one time they did plenty of Chinese New Year references for the Year of the Dog.
Yeah, as well as the Year of the Monk. Oh, and I think it was Year of the Dragon. Yeah, it was definitely Year of the Dragon and Year of the Dog. And I think and I'm pretty much stuffed. Pretty much out of news for today.
All right. So I guess it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. I guess we can talk about it. So the fun topics, if you will. that have nothing to do with anything. I'm being facetious. We're talking about genre-bending games. Genre-bending games that basically, like, it's a fighting game
in 2 categories, right?
but it's an RPG, but it's also an action adventure game, like that type of thing. Or like Puzzle Quest, where Puzzle Quest is a match 3, 4, 5 game, but it's also an RPG. You level up, you gain stats, you gain skill points to make your stats better. You gain skills and abilities as you level up. You can set those abilities in battles, except the battles aren't your traditional
turn-based
battles. They are turn-based, but during your turn, you're using match 3 tiles and stuff like that. So, I mean, personally, I like the first Puzzle Quest. It's one of my favorite, like, little puzzle games. I have it on multiple platforms. I have it on PC. I have it on Wii. I have it on 3DS. I have it on a smartphone. And it's also on the Vita and the PSP. I also have it on the PS3. So I really like me some Puzzle Quest. So are there any notable genre-bending games that you like to play? They're just like, you can't really say this game's strictly a platform. Like Harry Hatsworth was a puzzle game and also a platform or something like that. So what genre-bending games have you played?
Well, would the Metroid Prime series count? Because I know that's a first-person adventure game.
Technically, but when I was saying genre-bending, I was like two things, like kind of like let's see what. Well, like I said, like Harry Hatsworth, which was Henry Hatsworth, which was basically like it was like the top of the screen, you're like running and jumping like a platform, and on the bottom you had like a puzzle aspect where you're solving puzzles and shit. Or you can go with what's another one? Bait and Katos, which was an RPG that was also a card battles game, something like that. Because there's certain things that kind of go, like, if you're playing a first-person shooter these days, there's going to be some environmental puzzles and adventuring type of aspect going on. Like, if you play Call of Duty from back in the day with their little single-player campaigns, you were going to have some type of adventure going on. So it's not really,
Right.
But Metroid Pinball is.
That's the weird one.
That is a genre bender, because that game actually, because when you fought the bosses in that game, you had to get Samus into a certain position, and then she would stand up and she'd shoot her blaster and missiles. So that was kind of like, that was a genre bender.
For me, I consider the Puzzles and Dragons series being the genre bender for me, since, well, it's kind of RPG, it's kind of match the setup, and, well, it kind of works in a sense, especially when you get the Plus Mario edition.
Yeah.
At least to me.
Yeah, it is kind of like that.
What about Super Paper Mario? Would that count as a genre matcher?
Kind of, but I mean, Super Paper Mario is kind of a weak RPG. It's not. I mean, the RPG elements are barely there, so it kind of doesn't count. It's more of a platformer with very, very, very light RPG elements, like almost non-existent. So not really. But the original Paper Mario series, definitely, it's part platformer, part RPG. That's a mix-up.
Or its predecessor, Super Mario RPG.
Super Mario RPG kind of sucks as a platformer, because the isometric view really kind of doesn't work for that format, which is amazing because you would think, but it really doesn't. I mean, haven't you noticed that most of the puzzles in Super Mario RPG are not jump dependent? And when they are, it's normally like this ultra skill thing. Like if you want to get to that special casino at the end of that weird.
Oh God, that's a
way you had to do these insane jumps and stuff. and that was a skill quest. Like, because the games jump. Like, I've noticed this about Mario RPGs. Except the Paper Mario games kind of got around this a little bit, even before Super Paper Mario. But like Mario and Luigi, the jumping kind of sucks in those games.
It depends on it depends on the game, on the system, but I can agree with you on that because some of those jumps can be pretty on edge, especially when it's one of those one of those areas where it's a jump or you lose some HP for it.
Yeah, yeah. And if you've noticed, like the Mario games, kind of like over time, the Mario and Luigi games over time, jumping has become less of an important aspect because the engine that those games are built in is not really designed for like really actiony gameplay, not for jumping and stuff like that. It's not your typical Mario game. Now, if someday they could crack that code and you had a Mario game, Mario and Luigi or Paper Mario style game that had excellent platforming and also could combine the RPG aspects, that would be a dream come true. But we're not to that point yet, folks. We're not to that point.
I'm trying to think if there's also a Kirby game that's genre defined that meshes two genres.
Kirby Golf.
Yeah, Kirby Dream Course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kirby Dream Course is definitely
And I just remembered, one of the mini games in Kirby Mass Attack is kind of a really interesting, fun one that I would hope for.
You mean the pinball mode?
Pinball mode is one, but Kirby Quest.
And what game was this?
It's in Kirby's Mass Attack.
Oh yeah. See, I don't like that game. Like I played about 20 minutes of it. I was like, this is not.
I own it, and it's it's annoying as fudge, yet it's fun at the same time.
I just, for some reason, I never liked Mass Attack. Like my favorite Kirby games are the ones that are like more traditional Kirby, like
something like Kirby playing Robobot.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you, I don't even like the SNES Dreamland games. Like Kirby's Dream Land 3, I don't think it's very good. It's very slow. And here's the thing: had I started with those games and then gone to Superstar, it probably wouldn't have been that bad. But because the first Kirby game that I really got into and like really like understood what was going on and like 100% everything was Superstar. Like because Superstar has a very fast, frenetic pace, you know, and the Dreamland games, especially on SNES, did not.
I would have said go with the Game Boy version first to at least understand Kirby, as far as the simple mechanics.
Well, I mean, you kind of get that. You kind of get that with Superstar with the spring,
first level.
with spring, whatever, spring, whatever.
And that
Spring
one
Breeze.
Spring Breeze,
which is a remake of the original Kirby's Dream Land.
Yeah, and you kind of get this. It has everything except for Krakow. But I mean, the thing is, like, you get this whole like kind of like, you know, it's a very fast, frenetic game, and then you go to Hoshi no Kirby 3, aka Kirby's Dream Land 3, which is the slow plotting, and the use of abilities is shit. I mean, that's
because of the special puzzles that require you that are required of you in order to get certain special items.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it was done better with Superstar, and I'm glad that Hal finally figured out that style of gameplay was just holding Kirby back. So they doubled down on what they learned from Superstar, which I'm happy because that gave us excellent things like Return to Dreamland, which is friggin' awesome, and Planet Robobot, and the one where DDD gets kidnapped. I forget which one that was.
Triple Deluxe.
Yeah, Triple Deluxe. So I mean, you know, I think that the traditional Kirby games need to be more like that because it's much better that way.
Oh, breaking news! Tekken 7 just announced a Walking Dead character as a playable character.
Wow, they're running out of ideas, aren't they?
Oh.
So
Could be worse.
Hey, Alex.
Oh.
Yeah, it could be worse. They could have added another Street Fighter character that no one cares about.
Could have been Dead or Alive 6.
I don't know. See, Dead or Alive for me, even though it's got tons and tons of juggle physics, is at least fun. Tekken tries to take itself way too goddamn seriously these days. You know?
Well, yeah,
Like,
because of the hyper realistic human character designs.
they're like, we're gonna. And I'm like, I remember Tekken when they had a friggin' kangaroo that you had to fight and a robot that was made out of wood, and that was okay. And a dinosaur and that's what I liked about Tekken, and a robot that looked like a dude, like that's like a cyborg guy. Like that was when Tekken was cool. They take themselves way too seriously these days, and I'm like, look, you have Yoshimitsu in this game, and Yoshimitsu should never be taken seriously, because he's just he's so damn fun. The game series that's supposed to take itself so seriously that it becomes ironic is Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur is the game you're supposed to take too seriously. These characters just take themselves way too goddamn seriously. That's the entire point. Tekken should be fun. Heihachi with his stupid ass haircut, and that's the entire point. Should not be taken seriously. But
So, Alex, now that you're here, you were just talking about the main topic before the breaking news for Tekken 7.
We were talking about genre bending games that basically, like, the game itself is a combination of different things that somehow don't seem like they would go together, but they work.
Okay. Xenogears?
How is that a combination of different things?
Basically it's basically like a one part mech gameplay, other part just traditional RPG gameplay.
Well, yeah, that could work. yeah, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It actually works out pretty well. What else? Yeah, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, of course. Don't all speak all at once now.
Well, I mean, I said Bait and Katos because it's an RPG, but it's also a card battle game. Like you legitimately, and it's like poker.
You have to sort your deck out in a certain way in order to make it strong as possible and yet balanced, because, well, you can get pretty decked out from it. I'm trying not to use card puns now. Sorry.
And it's like poker because you actually have to do straights, flushes, doubles, triples, quads, quintets, stuff like that. So there's actually, like, if you know poker, you can do well in Bait and Katos. But yeah, it's one of my favorite
mixed games.
Also, Growlancer, all the Growlancer games that came out after the first game, where they add this ring system for your weapon. Like you don't actually buy actual weapons like swords, axes, or whatever. You have this ring system where you put in these certain different rings, which allow you to equip certain accessories that make you immune or give you some certain powers.
Oh yeah. I have Growlancer Generations on the PC. It's actually a pretty fun little game.
Yeah, second game was the first to introduce that ring system. It's been not too fancy on the ring system, but kind of more of a fan of the first games. How the first game plays is just simple, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect perfection. I mean, personally, or a visual novel with a simple mini games, with a collection of mini games. For example, Trauma Center.
Yeah.
It's this deep, engrossing medical drama, but it's also a set of mini games where you have to save people doing virtual surgery by playing mini games. It's actually pretty damn fun.
That reminds me. There's also another game that merges two genres, Honey Pop.
Oh no!
Honey Pop.
I know this one.
That's the damn near
Sim
H.
plus
Well, no,
Match 4.
Actually, I take that back. It's not damn near the H game. The H game with Match 4. Yeah, but it didn't do it first because they had Bubble Bath Babes on the NES that did the same damn thing. And Bubble Bath games was a lot harder. Much.
Oh, I think I have another one here. I'm trying. I remember this one fan translated game on PS1. I'm trying to track it down right now. I'll let you know when I actually find it. Okay.
All right.
I think I got one more though. I'm not sure if you would count it as such. The theater rhythm games. Theater rhythm, Final Fantasy.
You mean the RPG rhythm games?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, kind of like that Square Enix rhythm game with the kid who's like a rhythm mancer or some junk like that. Goes around hitting people with his little baton club thing that's shaped like a note.
No, that's a different game.
I got another mix for you.
That's Harmo Knight, by the way.
Yeah, Harmo Knight. ActRaiser is a light civilization sim and an action game, and the two modes complement each other. There's a game that almost feels like a spiritual successor to ActRaiser, where you do the same thing as you did in ActRaiser, called Dark Cloud, where you do a similar thing. You go down into dungeons fighting enemies and eventually a boss, while opening these things called miliospheres, but those themselves are used to rebuild whatever civilization in the area that you're at. So you rebuild a city, rebuild a port, rebuild a moon place, a beach, whatever. It's actually a pretty fun little game. I always was a big fan of Dark Cloud. The second game's not as good as the first one. It's kind of stupid, really. Well, not really. It's overburdened with a lot of extra shit that didn't need to be there. But yeah, genre bending. I love it. Anything else? Anything?
On the main topic?
Well, I actually was trying to find something.
Oh yeah, I think I found it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's this one PS1 like Atlas game called
What the fudge happened?
Yeah, I found the video for it. It's called Imadoki no Vampire Bloody Bride on the PS1. It's this one like weird RPG dating sim visual novel like combination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the sound you heard was like what was like some guy doing a let's play of the game.
You know what that game sounds like?
Yeah.
It sounds like Soulsmith on the PS1, where you played as a blacksmith, where in order for you to make better weapons, it was like this rhythm game. But in order for you to make better weapons, like when you made your weapons, it was a rhythm game. But in order for you to make better weapons and upgrade your weapons, it turned into a dating sim that you would get these girls to join you because you were a blacksmith, and the girls would join you when you made your weapons. And each girl had her own element and specialty. So like if you wanted to make spears, you had to make friends with the paladin girl who would basically let you make better spears. And as your relationship with her got better, you could make better weapons of that type and that element. So
I
it
can
was
only
kind of
imagine
like,
the relationships.
This one here, you're basically some vampire sent to like the real world or like from the underworld. You're sent to like some high school. You're some student. You're trying to like basically like find your like how do I explain this? So like just like at the end of the game, you're supposed to end up with the girl like that you want to bring back to the underworld with you to turn into like a vampire or something. It's pretty interesting.
so it's basically like Atlas's, or it's basically like Nippon Ichi Software's, Nippon Ichi Software's Mana Kamiya.
Something like that.
Except,
Yeah, that's except what?
Except with blood, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that series never, because that series was a bender because it was a school simulator while at the same time also being a kind of hardcore RPG. It was actually pretty good.
Would the Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright crossover game count as a genre merger?
Not really, because you're basically doing the same thing as both characters. It's both characters, you're solving mysteries, except Phoenix Wright also can investigate, like he can also like prosecute people and defend them as a lawyer. But I mean, you're both like looking at like evidence and stuff like that. Professor Layton does little puzzles, like logic puzzles, and Phoenix.
And Phoenix is understanding testimonies from different people.
It's the same. You're using the same set of skills, just applied slightly differently. It's not a genre bender because it's all puzzles. One's logic-based puzzles. The other is like, it's all logic-based puzzles, just applied differently. One in law, the other in investigation. So
yeah,
not really. No.
It's because Phoenix Wright is considered to be a visual novel genre.
Yeah, but I mean, in later editions, you were still going to crime scenes, investigating evidence, which is similar to what you do in Professor Layton. I mean, it's the same. You're using the same skill set, just slightly different. And Professor Layton is also kind of a visual novel because you're trying to solve an overarching mystery by solving a whole bunch of smaller ones that you have little cut scenes that tell you what's going on. I mean, it's the same thing. When we say genre bending, we mean literally it's something that takes the established, it's like a game that might be an RPG, but like I said, has a completely different battle format than what you would originally see. Like you're like clearing blocks RPG style, blocks Tetris or something, Tetris style. That's the genre bender. Yakuza, it's a beat 'em up RPG life simulator. That's about it. Anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Anything?
Nothing at the moment.
not that I think of.
All right.
Yeah, I think I posted a link to that game I mentioned. I'm gonna check it out. It's kind of interesting. Like,
Oh my
pretty
god,
interesting.
this looks so kawaii.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there's even a complete walkthrough for it as well.
I'm gonna stay away from that one.
Oh, you are?
So with that being said,
TMI, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm an RPG fanboy, but that's a little too much for even for me.
As I said, TMI.
Not really. I mean, I'm not being really explicit with why I won't play it. But basically, the big thing is, I guess since we've got a little bit of time left over before we have to close out the podcast, I guess we can talk about the elephant in the room. Well, not the elephant in the room, but free topic, if you will. So, what have you been playing? Why do you enjoy it, and why do you recommend this game to other people? Who wants to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Personally, I'd say Flip Wars for trying to mimic Bomberman and yet putting a different spin on it. It works pretty well with 2 players, though. If anything, I'm curious of how it would play with people around the world or with 4 players.
All right.
And for me, I've been playing Sonic Mania Plus, and I'm currently frustrated at trying to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds on the first try, so I can get.
You ain't getting that. I'm telling you that now with the kind of special mini game to try to grab that.
Look,
emeralds.
let them dream, damn it.
It's not about the mini games. It's about finding the location of the secret rings.
Yeah, let him have his goal. So Sonic Mania
It's
for
trouble.
you. All right, okay. Alex,
Yeah.
what game have you been playing that you would recommend for people to play, and why?
That I would recommend Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, one of the reasons why is the excellent story and the multiple pathways you could take.
Yeah, fair enough. Here's a question. You're a Shin Megami Tensei fan.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who in Shin Megami Tensei 4, when you go to that alternate reality where you have like demons that have fused with humans, that you found that premise way more interesting than what you were doing?
To tell you the truth, I actually haven't played Shin Megami Tensei 4 yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
I ruined something for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. At least it didn't spoil the whole thing for me.
No, it's. I mean, if you've played one Shin Megami Tensei, you pretty much know it's going to have difficult moral choices that you've been making the entire time and you didn't even know, because they don't really, they aren't like a Dragon Age game or something like that where they're like, this is a majorly important decision.
Yeah, speaking of Shin Megami Tensei, I would also recommend Soul Hackers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, also because it basically predicted how our current society, it had predicted that social media would become a major thing 20 years later.
Yeah. My favorite, believe it or not, if I was going to recommend Shin Megami Tensei for people and they want to get what Shin Megami Tensei is about without all the baggage of the different series, I would go
into Persona personally.
Actually, I would say Strange Journey. Strange Journey is a great way to get into Shin Megami Tensei without you having to deal with all the baggage of Shin Megami Tensei, because a lot of the core mechanics of Strange Journey are very similar to old school Shin Megami Tensei games, where you have you get a gun and the gun has ammo, so you can't just spam it all the time. You have melee attacks. You make contracts with various demonic creatures. You can fuse them together to make more powerful ones, and it's still got that dark aesthetic with weird shit going on, where it's like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. Because that's half of what Shin Megami Tensei, more so than Persona. Persona has a relatively straightforward story. You can follow what's going on. Shin Megami Tensei, especially the first half of every Shin Megami Tensei game, you play a normal person with fucked up shit going on around you, and it's like, what the fuck, man? Especially if you play like Shin Megami Tensei, the Shin Megami Tensei games for the SNES,
the first two.
The first two. The first one, it's like you have a weird dream, you don't know what the hell's going on, and then as things get progressively worse and more fucked up shit and more demons start showing up, you're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but I've got a shotgun, and who wants some? I mean, and that's something I like about. That's what I like about the original Shin Megami Tensei games, like back in the day, is that it was like, okay, this is demons are popping up, so that's an unreal premise, but it's the modern world, so you've got baseball bats, knives, machetes, katanas, and guns. lots and lots of guns. It's like, hey, that succubus is really badass, but can she take a shotgun blast to the chest?
Yeah.
Say hello to my boomstick. I mean, you could channel Ash from The Evil Dead.
Oh God!
Or like
I can hear the.
or Tony from Scarface. Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah. It was Shin Megami Tensei, one of my favorite games. Persona is good, but Persona is a little too. I think Persona is, it's a little bit more it's more casual than a Shin Megami Tensei game. And it's like when you have to make personal choices that affect the overall gaming story, it's much easier to do. So much easier. What else?
Anything else before we wrap things up?
We were talking Shin Megami Tensei. Anything you guys want to mention before we wrap things up? Any breaking news? Any personal things they want to talk about?
Yes, I have yet another breaking news. A leak involving Lloyd Irving appearing in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'll post the source of it here.
Really?
There's some leak images of Lloyd Irving, and nobody knows where the source is from, and many are suspecting it might have been for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Man, I'd be cool with that. I would love to have Lloyd Irving in Smash Brothers Ultimate because I like Lloyd Irving. He's like, he's one of my favorite characters.
This poster is predicted a month early.
I don't care. I like Lloyd Irving.
The direct is in August.
I like Lloyd Irving. He's like my favorite. Lloyd Irving is my favorite 3D Tales character. So if that's true, if Lloyd Irving is joining the fight, then
what about Kratos?
His dad. Well, look, I'm gonna tell you this. His dad is cool, but Lloyd Irving has 200% offensive power. His father only has 100%, because Lloyd has 2 swords.
What about Yuri?
What?
What about Yuri from?
I'm gonna keep it real. Yuri Lowenthal from what's it called? Tales of forget. Like the one good Tales game that came to the Xbox and bombed spectacularly, because why would you put a JRPG on the Xbox? I mean, but whatever. Like that's a good game, but the thing is that it was on the Xbox, and I mean, you don't put JRPGs on the Xbox. You just don't do it.
When has an RPG made it on the Xbox? Seriously, I'm wondering that.
JRPGs don't do well on the Xbox. Like if you make a JRPG and you put it on the Xbox, it's just the shit is done. It's not gonna work. Call it a day.
Just ask Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13-2, Final Fantasy 13-3, Final Fantasy 15. Kingdom Hearts when it comes out. If it's a JRPG and it's on an Xbox system, it's just not going to work. It's just, I'm sorry. Like, even if it's a good game, like that game from Akira Toriyama and Hironobu Sakaguchi that like used a lot of the art style of Akira Toriyama's Ironbird Studios. It was an Xbox 360 exclusive. Bombed spectacularly because that's not the audience for that game. I don't know why people don't understand that. The Xbox will never have a Japanese audience because Japanese people don't want that piece of shit. They're not dumb enough to want a piece of shit like that in their house. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, I don't know.
I noticed you liked Yakuza 0. How was that, by the way?
It's fun. Yakuza is has a very visceral combat style, because basically, like, if it was just punching and kicking like your traditional beat 'em ups like Final Fight or Streets of Rage, it would be boring. but because they added heat actions to the game, which basically are fancy ways of fucking people up and doing massive amounts of damage to them, and they have different styles that you can use depending on which like style, how heat attacks work out. Like you have the rush style, which is like bobbing and weaving. It's like a boxing, kickboxing style where you're dodging. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's great for wearing down enemies that like to block and stuff like that. Then you have the main characters like brawler style, which is like kind of like it's a heavy kind of like leave a lot of openings, but you do a lot of damage type of basic style that's great for, you know, doing heat actions. Like, I don't know, taking a dude and smashing his face into, opening up a car door, smashing his face where the car door meets the rest of the frame, slamming the door on his head, and then kicking the door frame, or throwing a dude on the ground and stomping on his head, or putting a guy
putting the guy in the hospital in any sort of horrid way possible.
Putting a guy in a suplex and body slamming him onto a railing, or putting him near the corner of the railing and slamming him tailbone first into the little corner so it messes up his ass. It's pretty damn fun. It's like, yeah, this game is fun. And finding the different ways that you can fuck people up is just great. You know, like if you're being swarmed by a bunch of dudes, swig some taurine to up your heat quotient, which is a resource in the game that you can manage, and throw the guy over a ledge. It's like, I don't have to chip this guy away. I just grab him and throw him over the ledge.
I'm surprised you haven't did what was it? Oh yeah, Def Jam Vendetta finish.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Yakuza came out before Def Jam.
I know.
It came out before.
I'm saying that I'm surprised that you haven't had a chance to pull that off.
Well, I mean, the thing about Yakuza is that like all that stuff that people have, there's all that in there. Like, and those are just the attacks you can use with bare hands. There's heat actions that you can use with weapons. Like you can take a teapot and beat a dude down with it, and while he's on the ground, pour hot water on his head. And then smash it down on his face.
Oh yeah, the pliers, so you could just rip one of the guys'
teeth
out.
Teeth out. Yeah, you can take salt and grab him and sprinkle it in his face and his eyes.
Talk about making an opponent salty.
Yeah. I mean, Yakuza is just so much fun, and that's just the fighting, which you're going to be doing a lot of in this game because it is a beat 'em up RPG. But there's also the other distractions, like you can go to the erotic boutique and watch they're kind of censored, videos of Japanese women where Kazuma Kiryu gets his jollies. You can go play bowling. You can go play pool. You can go to the batting cage.
The arcade.
Go to strip club.
Fishing. Yakuza 0 doesn't. I don't. Well, I think Mad Dog Majima is the one who has the strip club, but this is before he became Mad Dog Majima. He's still like not quite crazy yet. He'll get there, but Goro Mad Dog Majima, one of my favorite side characters in the Yakuza series. I also like the moneylender from Yakuza 4. I thought he was pretty cool too.
Please tell me you didn't go to him and take out a big loan already.
Well, actually, one of the big things with him, one of the big events in Yakuza is that there's the Millennium Tower, which in Yakuza 1, there's this big pile of money that the Yakuza wants, that Nishiki, who is Yakuza's adopted brother, because they grew up in the same orphanage, like he has this face turn at the end. It's this heel turn, face turn. It's a big soap opera, but he blows up the money. Well, apparently when he blew up the money, one of them is this homeless guy who used to be part of the Yakuza, but now he's not anymore. And he, like, this pile of money falls in his lap, literally, because it gets blown the fuck up. And he takes some of it and he uses to solve his debt to get his life together. And he's the guy who later becomes the moneylender in Yakuza 4 that you can play as, who's actually pretty damn badass, because he doesn't use his fists in fights, he uses his legs, like Sanji from
One Piece.
From One Piece, yeah. But yeah, Yakuza is just a great game.
Yeah, good luck Good luck getting your hands on the second game though, because I've noticed that copies have been going for well over $80 now.
Yakuza 2? Well, the thing is that I have all my Yakuza games because I kept my PS2 games, so I have Yakuza 2. And plus, there's Yakuza 2 Kiwami, which is the same game, just in a better engine. So, I mean, worst comes to worst, I'll just get it on PC. I mean, to tell you the truth, my favorite Yakuza game, though, I like Yakuza 3. I mean, I like all of them. I like Yakuza 1, 2, 3. I think 1 and 2 are kind of primitive, you know, which I'm glad they're re-releasing them in a better engine because Yakuza 1 and 2 on PC are just, I mean, on PS2 were just, like, they were fun for the time, but.
At least they had awesome soundtracks.
Oh, yeah. Yakuza games all have good soundtracks. Like, basically, all I'm going to say is this. If you see a motherfucker that looks like Kazuma Kiryu coming at you with a dragon tattoo on his back, just get the fuck out the way. Hey, man, I ain't got shit to do with it, man. I'm going to be over here.
Now, let's just hope Sega actually decides to put Yakuza 0 on the Switch.
They won't.
Yeah, they won't, because they're Sega.
They won't. They already said, yeah, we tried with Yakuza 1 and 2 on PC. And I'm like, on the Wii U. So you're going to use Nintendo's second lowest selling home console as the measure of whether or not to put a game on the system. Seriously, bro?
Yeah, that's Sega for you. Yeah, it's like this can't fix stupid with them.
I mean, the Yakuza series was the chosen one. They were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them.
But I can't get mad at them because they're putting it on PC, and I have a gaming PC. So, I mean, like, here's the way I look at it: more and more games that were supposed to be PS4 exclusives are also coming to PC. So, I mean, I'm gonna have access to the games anyway. Because, I mean, here's the thing: since the SNES age, if you had a Nintendo system, you haven't gotten everything. Okay. Like, and even during the SNES age, you didn't get everything, but you got an equivalent. Like, you know, we didn't have Strider on the SNES. We had Run Saber, which is on a technical level better than Strider for the Sega Genesis. But, you know, we didn't get Strider. You know, we didn't get the Mega Man 8 for the, or was it 7 or 8? 7. Yeah, 8 for the Sega Genesis. We didn't get that game.
That was on Saturn, actually. Saturn.
Well, I mean, we didn't get that game. Instead, we got Rockman and Fort, and which never came to America. But we got Mega Man X, which is so much better. Mega Man X is fucking awesome, bro. The first 3 games.
Yeah, we didn't get X4 or X5.
Yeah,
the PS1.
After 4, it just went downhill. So you aren't missing anything.
5 wasn't too bad.
I'm gonna keep it real. When they had the art style of Mega Man X, like X1, X2, X3, and even X4, it kind of was at its best. When they went all in on the PlayStation 1 and they made it way too fucking complicated for a 2D platformer, and they tried to go 3D, and it's like, no, you fucked up. No.
I was gonna say it wasn't too bad with the complications, though it was highly annoying. But it was right when it tried to go 3D when it jumped the shark.
Yeah. I think they should have kept it 16-bit. It's not 32-bit because, I mean, imagine the cool shit they could have done with a 16-bit game. But that's the end of it. What else?
Well, yeah, I remember that one guy on Travis's YouTube page, like, commenting why Yakuza shouldn't belong on a Nintendo platform. Yeah, and also, like, I think, he also posted an article on VGF about it, too.
Yeah, I saw that. He's like, yeah, it shouldn't be. I'm like, yeah, but there's tons of Sega games that have done well on a Nintendo platform, like Super Monkey Ball, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure Heroes.
He thinks that we Nintendo fans aren't mature enough to handle Yakuza or something.
Yeah, and yet
he's just trolling. He actually does want Yakuza and put it on Nintendo platforms.
And yet the highest selling platform for Sega's defunct RPG, Skies of Arcadia, is the GameCube and not the Dreamcast. And that game has
hard.
an implied homosexual relationship in it. So people need to get their heads out of their asses. Plus, Phantasy Star Online 1, 2, and 3 on the system. Like whatever. People are dicks, and they need to get over it. They need to get over being dicks. I mean, I know it's hard for a lot of these people, but stop being an asshole, damn it! I can't help it.
Yeah, people still refuse to people still refuse to get over the fact that Wind Waker wasn't what was shown in the 2000 Space World demo. It's like ridiculous.
Which they came out a few years later with Twilight Princess, which was basically what they showed in the. I mean, Nintendo heard your prayers. I mean, like, here's the thing. Okay, Wind Waker is not a perfect Legend of Zelda game. It's not. On the technical level, it doesn't have enough dungeons. The ocean traveling aspects of it are really fucking slow until you get the ability to teleport. And even then, it can get kind of tedious. But I mean, overall, it's a fine. I put Wind Waker on par with Skyward Sword. They both have technical issues that hold them back from being great. I'll put Breath of the Wild in there too. They all three of those games have technical issues that hold them back from being great, but they're solid Legend of Zelda games. And in some ways, each of them in their own way is very innovative and trailbreaking. No, Wind Waker gave you Link, a very expressive Link, the most expressive Link we ever had with that, and it aged really well. Like that is graphically, that's one of the most beautiful Legend of Zeldas ever, Wind Waker, because of the art style. Then you have Skyward Sword, which, I mean, I personally am not a huge fan of Skyward Sword because I feel like they spent so much time trying to get motion control right that like other aspects of the game suffer. Like, why am I going to the same place 3 or 4 times? That's not cool.
Don't get started on the Triforce hunt.
Why does the sky feel so? I was talking about Skyward Sword. There's no Triforce hunt in Skyward Sword. And there's like this huge why am I traveling in the sky? Why does it feel so fucking empty in the sky? I mean, I get it, but that was a wasted opportunity. And Breath of the Wild.
Like, seriously, there could have been sky dungeons.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild has a similar thing where it's like, wow, this is cool. Too bad I only fight the same 9 enemies over and over again with different palette swaps.
I think that goes into the trope. Palette swap equals higher difficulty.
Yeah, it's like, man, I'm in trouble. It's a black Lionel. I'm fucked now. Yes. But I mean, and there's like only like 6 dungeons in the game, which is a damn travesty. But I mean, I mean, AI wise, and there's no fishing. Like, I was playing Yakuza 0, and there's better fishing in Yakuza 0 than there is in Breath of the Wild. What the fuck, man? I'm sorry. I'm still salty about that. But I mean, the game on a technical level, like the technical accomplishments of the game, like how could you have this massive open world where physics actually matter, where you can like things you do actually matter. Like you burn grass, it creates a thermal updraft that you can use to fly someplace. Breath of the Wild on the technical level is a wonderful piece of kit. As a Zelda game, it has some issues, but as a game, just on the technical level, it's
got high potential.
Thing. Yeah, I hope the next Zelda game fixes the issues that Breath of the Wild has, and real actual dungeons and weapons that don't break in the middle of a fucking fight, because that was some bullshit. But aside from that, yeah, every game has its own things going on. It's not going to be perfect. Anything else anyone wants to pimp out before we wrap things up? Since we're
oh yeah, I shared Scott from WizardDojo.com's top 10 greatest console launch titles of all time article.
Yeah. And 8 of them are Nintendo games.
Yeah, like 8 out of 10 are Nintendo games.
Coincidence? I think not. No.
Yeah, there's no PlayStation titles on the list at all.
Well, because PlayStation typically doesn't have good launch titles. The reason PlayStation does well is because they have third-party support. If PlayStation didn't have third-party support, it would fall apart on itself. Because, I mean, it has nothing else going on but third parties. Because
even Microsoft has better launch titles than.
Not really. Like, okay, compared to Sony, it's better, but not really. Like Halo was a fluke, but like, what did the 360 launch with? Aside from Halo. Exactly. Like that's the thing. Like people can tell you, okay, the Super Nintendo launched with Super Mario World, which is iconic, right?
Well, Final Fantasy IV as well.
Yeah, Final Fantasy IV, yeah.
Super Castlevania 4.
Super Castlevania 4, yeah.
F-Zero and Pilot Wings.
Yeah, F-Zero, Pilot Wings, those were 2 tech demos that were turned into games. Let's keep it real. To showcase the power of Mode 7. They were Mode 7 insanity. But yeah, those are like iconic games. Even the Sega Genesis launched with Sonic the Hedgehog, which is a pretty good launch game. But I mean, you look at
Aren't idea they ever had.
You look at the PlayStation, and it launched with, I don't remember.
Just some Namco Namco arcade titles.
Yeah, it was not really that impressive. And then Microsoft, the original Xbox, launched with exactly.
Yeah, the original Xbox had Halo,
and that was it. That was it. It had Halo and some other throwaway.
Shenmue 2.
Yeah, but that game was not what it was cracked up to be. But
Panzer Dragoon Orta.
Yeah, and Legends. People who like those games hate that game. But my point stands. Like Nintendo has always pretty much had really good launch games for the new consoles. Like I said, with the N64, they had Mario 64. Like you had 2 games you could play launch day for the N64: Mario 64 and Wave Race. That's it. And most of us got Mario 64 because Wave Race was like, I don't know about this.
It's not bad, but it's
not Mario. It's an unknown quantity. And then the GameCube. They also had Rogue Squadron, and Rogue Squadron was really good. And then with the GameCube, it launched with Luigi's Mansion,
Melee.
Well, Melee came out shortly after, but it wasn't day one. Day one, it had Luigi's Mansion and Rogue Squadron 2.
Yep.
And Rogue Squadron 2 was really good. Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Squadron 2, more so than Luigi's Mansion, showed off the power of the GameCube. I mean, that game, especially if you played that game on a home system that had Dolby surround sound, oh shit, that game was so good. I still have that game. That game is the bomb. And then with the Wii, it launched with Twilight Princess, and that's basic, and Wii Sports.
Yep.
But really, Wii Sports was I remember playing through Twilight Princess, and Wii Sports was like a palate cleanser between Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess, hands down, my favorite 3D Legend of Zelda game. Even now, for me, it's better than Breath of the Wild. Because it doesn't have weapons that break in the middle of a fight. that's automatically a win. And then, the Wii U launched with
New Super Mario Bros. U.
New Super Mario Bros. U, which is a surprisingly good 2D Mario game. Really good. And Nintendo Land, which is hit or miss. Some games in it are good. Some games are like
Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, that was not a good one. Literally the worst Assassin's Creed you could play if that's your first Assassin's Creed. Because I bought that game. I was like, I need something to play on my Wii U, and I got it. I'm like, this is shit.
This is how you make a bad first impression.
Yeah, because Assassin's Creed 3 is like the weakest game in the franchise. It's really fucking bad. like bad pacing, bad voice acting, bad story, bad characters, bad action. It's just bad. Where else? I mean, those were the launch games. And Batman Arkham City Armored Edition. That was a launch game. That's pretty good.
And there was Mass Effect 3 as a launch system.
Yeah, but that game was a shitty port. You know, no DLC at all.
And Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
That was a pretty good game. I heard that was good.
And Zombie U.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who did not like that game. I didn't think it was good. I know some people are going to get mad because how dare you not like Zombie U, but I thought, like, how the hell are you going to have a zombie fighting game where you only have one melee weapon and it's a cricket bat? You don't get a golf club, a katana, a broadsword, just a fucking cricket bat. Oh, God. See, this is why I don't like Ubisoft, because they're fucking lazy. They're lazy, take shortcut motherfuckers, but the shortcuts they take are so bad that it's like it costs more to take the shortcut than just do it the right way the first time.
Like, seriously, that shortcut needs a map.
Makes me kind of wish that they were bought up by Vivendi, just let
No,
them
because
die.
Vivendi's even worse. Like, it's like, look, here's how bad Vivendi is. Activision bought themselves from Vivendi. Think about that. Activision is shit, but they're like, no, we don't want to be owned by Vivendi. The only good thing about Vivendi is that they helped publish one of the best Incredible Hulk games ever made. Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Weird.
Yeah, Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction is the best Incredible Hulk game ever made. It is hands down. Like, you have two big ass cities to play around in. You beat the shit out of various Hulk villains, everyone except the leader. But it's got the Abomination, Vector, General Thunder, Thaddeus, Thunderbolt Ross, Hulk Busters, Devil Hulk.
Devil Hulk.
Yeah, Devil Hulk. Well, I mean, the whole principle behind the Devil Hulk is that basically when Banner was turned into a mutant by his father, yes, Banner was a mutant before he ever got bombarded with the gamma radiation that turned him into an Incredible Hulk. But that's another tale for another day. I think I'll do a podcast about the Hulk because a lot of people need to know about that character. So with that being said, anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
Well, I just posted my latest Smash Sunday article on a Smash YouTuber I look up to since during the Smash 4 speculation days, and so far it's like his list is one of the best I've read so far.
Only because he has one of your favorites as his number one.
Oh no, it's not because of bias, but also his other choices were pretty good. And
I was saying that little one was because that number one had you giddy and joy so much that you actually use a JoJo reference, which I think will never happen. By the way.
Yeah, probably not.
With that said, I'll probably post an Overwatch article tomorrow. In regards to the Diva skin, at least.
All right. Alex?
Nothing really, besides I'd like to mention that, like, on Friday I had, like, surgery done. I had a skin graft done on my upper gums.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, and as I'm currently like sitting here, my upper lip is still swollen, and I have a black eye just from like all the numbing that they did to me.
Well, I mean,
hurts like hell.
well, I was gonna say at least the bright side, they probably gave you some good shit to numb you up.
Yeah.
Vicodin.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
When I had my wisdom teeth pulled, they gave me Vicodin, and I took half of one, and I was like, I can never take this again, because now I know why people get addicted to this shit, because I took half of one, and I felt like a car could have hit me. I would have gotten myself up and brushed myself off and been like, that ain't shit, and walked away.
Oh yeah.
You didn't do shit, motherfucker. Come back and have a gun.
I don't have my wisdom teeth removed at all, because I want to get a life achievement of living life to the fullest with all of my teeth intact.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
You're gonna have an achievement.
It's part of an achievement.
Yeah, you're gonna have an achievement because if they're impacted, they're gonna fuck up all your teeth, and you're gonna have a mouth like Freddie Mercury. But hey, maybe you'll be able to sing, and it won't matter.
I have back braces for that.
Oh, there you go. Let's see where else. Yeah, but I had mine removed, and it was great. Because they gave me Vicodin.
But that means you don't get your achievement when the day you die.
Does it seem like I fucking care about getting achievements?
Yes, I do.
I was about to say.
I have the
only achievement hunters would be that.
I make money, and I can take care of myself, and I own my own house, and I own my own car, and I don't have to depend on anyone. That's a fucking achievement. An achievement for doing things that are going to leave me in pain and possibly fuck up my health is not exactly what I call an achievement, but that's just me. You do you, bro. You do you.
That's how achievement works in video games as well.
No, achievements work in video games because they want to encourage people to play the game and enjoy all aspects of the game.
Yeah.
So they basically give you, instead of having clever game design that encourages you to do that naturally through progression, they instead give you false things that don't mean a damn thing, and they call them achievements or trophies or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. But basically, yeah, Vicodin, oh man, OxyContin, that shit I can never take that stuff ever, because I know if I got addicted, I'd be an addict. I'd be an addict. It might even get to the point that I'll probably be doing unsavory things in back alleys for Vicodin.
Good night, everyone.
Yep, good night.
But that's neither here nor there. How's it going? Good night. Stay tuned. I'll have some videos with gameplay of me playing Yakuza 0, because that's what I'm playing now on PC, and I'm going to be diving into this game because I fucking love Yakuza, and it has two of my favorite characters in it, Goro, Mad Dog Majima, and Kazuma, the Dragon of Dojima Kiryu. So can't go wrong with that. So with that being said, go to visit Video Game Facts. It's a great place to get your video game news. If you're into Star Trek news, there's a guy that you can find on YouTube named Captain April. He's got some great stuff. He's great insights into it. He's old school Trekkie, great.
Ooh, breaking news. The Lloyd Irving link turns out to be fake because it's from an already existing Tales game.
All right, then fair enough. It's fake. Or they might have Lloyd Irving in the game and there just hasn't been leaked footage of it yet. I don't know. But doesn't matter. I don't care. Let's wait until they have their direct next this Wednesday, and we'll find out more. Peace. Good night.
Hype responsibly.